Hello everyone and welcome to my 500 subscriber Q&A. Before we get into things, I just want to say thank you to everybody who subscribed and watched my videos and liked and left comments on everything. I really haven't really been doing YouTube for long. I've gained more subscribers and more people have seen my videos than I had ever anticipated. So, yeah, thank you everybody for doing what you're doing. I'm not going anywhere. I'll be doing more Pathologic stuff. I have a lot of stuff planned. Which you will see in the future someday eventually. I'll talk about some of it throughout this video though, because some of the questions I've noticed have asked about video ideas and stuff. Anyway, let's just start reading questions now. What are other games you enjoy playing apart of Pathologic, and how many hours do you have on the game between all of your playthroughs? So I checked that recently. I have 300-ish hours, which in my opinion isn't a lot. I feel like I've seen a lot of people with like thousands of hours in Pathologic, and I'm personally very jealous of that. I want to reach thousands of hours on this game somehow, someday. I mean, 300 is a lot, right? 300 hours is probably a lot. On Xbox, you can see your stats, and it displays it in days for each game you've played. It's like 13 or 14 days, I'm pretty sure. And that converted to hours is like 300, I think. And what are other games I like besides for Pathologic? Well, I play a lot of Dead by Daylight. What else do I have installed right now? Oh, I play a lot of Deep Rock Galactic as well. I finished Resident Evil 3 recently, and I'm playing through one of the Tomb Raider games. So, I guess those mainly. I honestly don't believe that there is anyone else who's played the game more than you have. You're probably the second most knowledgeable person on this game, only behind the devs themselves. Probably not. Like I've said, I've seen people with way more hours than me. That being said, why Pathologic 2? Are there any other games you've explored as thoroughly? What are your thoughts about games that have a similar theming, like Stalker and pretty much every other well-known Eastern European game? If you have one, who's your favorite author? Yeah, I've never heard of Stalker before. I don't know what it's like at all, or if it is similar to Pathologic at all. This is my first time hearing of it. Why Pathologic 2? Well, I guess Pathologic was the first ever game. This is a completely unique experience to me. I've never played in any other game that was like Pathologic. I remember in my first few playthroughs, it completely broke me. It was so tormentous and everything, and I've never played another game like that. And I don't know, I think the uniqueness of just the overall settings and themes of everything really drew me into it. And the more I played and the more I started to understand the mechanics and stuff, that just made things more fun for me, which is also kind of why I do my challenge runs and stuff. I like to challenge the game mechanics and things. And also, if you have one, who's your favorite author? I'm embarrassed to say this, but I don't really read. So I don't really have a favorite author. Yeah, I read a lot of comics, but I don't really read actual books very often. But my favorite one is Flashpoint Beyond. How much do you think the potentially upcoming Bachelor route will differ from current Pathologic 2, i.e. Haruspec's route? What I've seen, I think there might be a fair bit of different gameplay as well as story, but I don't know. Well, we know quite a bit about the Bachelor route already from Ice Pick Lodge. That's a video I'm planning to make in the future. I want to make a video that basically tells everybody and goes over all the information we currently have on the Bachelor route. And Ice Pick Lodge has confirmed that they're getting rid of most of the survival mechanics. I mean, the Bachelor route is going to be a very different game from what they've told us. There's literally no more survival mechanics. You can't fight anybody. I'm pretty sure there would be no need to sleep or eat or drink or anything like that. And apparently Danielle will be time traveling through events somehow. I mean, I won't say much on it right now. I'll go into a bit more if that video ever comes out. But we should be expecting something that's completely different from Pathologic 2, gameplay wise. Like story wise, narrative wise, I think it'll be similar. We can expect some things from classic Bachelor Route. But gameplay wise, I'm expecting, I don't know what I'm expecting. You know, they said that they've been removing their survival mechanics, but they still have the Plague Finder in the game, which means plague is still something we should be concerned about. So, yeah, I'm going to end that question there. Congrats on 500 subs. Seems like you're getting a decent amount of questions too. How did you discover Pathologic, and what hooked you so much that you ended up creating so much content around it? Keep up the good work. Always nice seeing your videos pop up. Thank you for the comment. How did you discover Pathologic? Well, once upon a time, Pathologic 2 was on Xbox Game Pass one day, and I monitor like the recently added to Game Pass a lot. That's how I play most of my games. I just saw the trailer and I liked it. I liked the way the trailer looked, and then I played it, and I'm here now. 3 years later, 300 hours into this game, and a dedicated Pathologic YouTube channel to it. And once again, about the creating content on it, I did kind of mention that, like Pathologic is a totally unique game to me, and that's mostly what drew me into it. But the content specifically, I like to consume a lot of YouTube videos, and for lots of other video games I follow and the YouTube videos I watch on them, they do fun stuff that in the Pathologic community people aren't doing content wise, which is really why I wanted to do like my challenge runs and exploring the game and stuff, because like I wanted to see those kinds of videos, but they just didn't exist, so I did it myself. How did you discover Pathologic? What were your first thoughts and impressions? Well, once again, Xbox Game Pass. If it weren't for Xbox Game Pass, I don't think I'd know that Pathologic exists to this day. Like, I don't think I would have ever seen any of the video essays or reviews telling you that this is the best game you've never played. Yeah, I don't think I would have ever seen or heard of Pathologic if it wasn't on Xbox Game Pass. And what were my first thoughts and impressions? Well, I don't remember much about my first few Pathologic runs, but I do remember that the game stressed me out so badly that I had to take like week-long breaks between play sessions because I couldn't handle it. Here's my question. Have you ever played Stalker? That's another Stalker comment. Yeah, I don't know. I've never heard of that game before. Maybe I should look into it. If any, what mod would you like to see for the game? It could be anything small or large. I have a very good mod idea, in my opinion. So, in like the Hollow Knight community, they have like randomizer mods. I'm not gonna really explain how that works in Hollow Knight specifically, but like Hollow Knight isn't the first game to do that. Plenty of games have like randomizer mods where they like randomize stuff. And I know a randomizer mod does exist for Pathologic, but it does only randomize the state of each district. So randomly, like instead of it being set which district is infected and burned, which whatever day it's randomized, what I would want is some kind of ultra randomizer mod. And when I mean ultra randomizer, I want to walk out of maybe Vlad's place, open a trash can, and find a heart in there because all of the items are randomized and it doesn't matter anymore, like where you get certain items from. So I pull an infected heart out of a trash can, and then I go to a playground, and then because NPC models are also randomized, I fucking trade that heart to Sticky for some cashews. And the stats are randomized, so the cashews are the best food in the game, and I'm set for the rest of the run. Like, I just want complete, utter chaos. I want ultra randomizer, and I think that would, like, provide infinite replayability for the game. Like, you could even maybe, like, randomize where the bounds spawn in town. So, like, instead of Lara always at the Trammel, maybe you can randomize it so that she's at Grief's warehouse, and Grief spawns at Katarina's room, and, like, I don't know. I think that would be very fun. Your channel is great. Would you consider doing lore videos on Bachelor and Changeling routes of the original Pathologic? No, I would never do that. because I don't own original Pathologic and my computer would not be able to run it efficiently and record it as well. So yeah, sorry about that. Someday in the future, I'd love to play classic Pathologic, but lore videos on characters are something I have considered before. But for characters that most people wouldn't know about, like Veronica and Smokey and the brother and sister who work at Town Hall, like I think those characters are super interesting because they really like they fade into the crowd because they even share the same character model with like hundreds of different NPCs. And if you aren't aware who Veronica, Smokey, or the other people I've mentioned were, Veronica is a part of the classic ARG. She was the main character and she was added to this game and she shares a model with one of the female NPCs. And Smokey is the kid you can trade with at Notkin's warehouse, but he also appears at a few events around town. Like he's the same kid that like gets hunted by the dog heads and he's standing up on the staircase to get away from them. And there's like the two people who work at the town hall who are actually like brother and sister and have like kind of a small story, which I think is interesting. And yeah, I've considered doing things on them, but not like bound characters. I don't know. I just haven't thought about that. Like those minor characters interest me more than the more main characters. Which ending do you prefer, and how do you think the Pathologic 2 endings compare to the classic endings? Once again, I haven't played classic, so sorry about that. I have watched Lila Dryer's Bachelor Route playthrough like a year ago, and I don't really remember much about the endings either, so I can't answer your question. What are your favorite and least favorite characters in Pathologic? In other words, who do you typically prioritize saving and who do you often ignore? So my favorite characters, I think top of the list is definitely Taya for me, and then Grief and Grace. Those are my top three favorite characters. But in terms of saving characters, I don't really do that. Like it doesn't really matter to me. Like I guess I prioritize the list, but like if somebody's infected and I have a Schmouter or a Panacea to give them, I just give it to them. Yeah, I don't really prioritize anybody unless it's like for some kind of challenge or something. Oh, least favorite characters. Least favorite characters. I don't know about that. I don't really hate any of the bound. But if I did have to choose between saving Taya and saving someone like Katarina or Alexander or Anna, I would choose Taya over them. It's very nice to see someone who has a deep knowledge of this game, but in a very matter of fact way. People talk about the major story details / philosophies behind the game, but I like seeing the raw machinery underneath. It's my favorite thing about your content. So here are my questions. Do you have plans on making a walkthrough of your own? And have you ever played any other Ice Pick Lodge games? I've never played any Ice Pick Lodge game besides for Pathologic 2. I do plan on doing that one day, and I would probably make videos out of them. I really did consider playing their most recent game, Know by Heart, because it even is on Xbox. And I don't think most of their other games are. I haven't checked, but I don't think they're on Xbox. But I just never got around to doing that. And walkthroughs are something I want to do, but like I mainly for my walkthroughs, I'd want to go through like each day and show off how you can get every mind bubble basically and get everything done efficiently. But the thing is, I don't want to do that with my current setup and everything because the Xbox graphics are not great. They're not how the game is intended to look. And if I do walkthroughs, I do want it to be good graphics. So potentially some day way in the future when I can eventually upgrade my stuff. Oh, also, I'm working on a sort of guide thing right now. There's my next few videos are like guides for stuff. Um, I have these two achievements. I have three achievements actually that I haven't gotten yet: No Reflection, Dream On, and the deal ending. And I'm making guides for No Reflection and Dream On. Those are going to be the next videos. But they might not be very entertaining because they're just straight up guides. But I'm not doing anything for the deal achievement because I don't think that really needs a guide. Hi, I have a few questions. What's your favorite ending in Pathologic 1? Sorry, I've never played Pathologic 1. Who do you always save your Panaceas for / Schmouters for? Yeah, I usually don't really do that. Yeah, but I guess, like, I would save it for Taya, not Grace, Lara, and Grief. What's your favorite house design in Pathologic 2? I like that question. Favorite house design? I think the entrance to Vlad's place is cool. I like Peter's loft. I like the clutter of it and all the art being everywhere. But I don't know if that's more what you're referring to as in like interior design or how the outside of the building looks. I think that, yeah, I like the entrance to Vlad's place. So maybe Vlad? Or maybe the Trammel. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm being very indecisive. I'm gonna move on. I really love your content. I found it just at the right time to fuel my pathologic obsession. Also, your pathologic edit shorts have introduced me to 2 new songs at this point, Fighting with the Melody and Digital Silence. I feel like I discover most of my music like that through similar ways. Like I'll hear something on TikTok and then it'll become a part of my permanent library. Also, I love Digital Silence, and I'll be honest, I've never heard the full version of Fighting with the Melody. I've just heard the part I used for that one short on TikTok a lot. Anyways, your question, I guess the only question I've come up with is why Andy North? Does the name have any interesting backstory, or is it literally just your full name? Andy North is not my real name. When I was very young, I first discovered what an anagram was, and I put my full name into an anagram generator thing, and one of the things that popped out was Andy Noon North. And I've always just liked that, and slowly that started becoming my social media, like all over. Like, well, variations of it. Like on Xbox, I go by Andy N North. Here, I'm just Andy North. On TikTok, I'm fully Andy Noon North. Yeah, that's the story. It was just an anagram of my name that I thought was cool. Hi Andy, some questions for me. What are some simple challenge runs for Pathologic 2 you'd recommend for a beginner? Especially, are there some that preferably wouldn't disrupt the story / immersion or even enhance it? I have thought a little bit about this question. I think challenges without breaking your immersion are kind of hard, but definitely possible. Oh yes, my video! I've been reloading this fucking save trying to get this tragedy and the spawn in for Aspity for so long, and it finally got it. I couldn't get the right settings or whatever. Okay, I can finally move on. Anyways, your question. What? Oh yes, oh my god. The non-immersion breaking challenges. That was the question. I've come up with a bit. So in the lore, Artemy is kind of like described to be like this hulking figure, and I'm pretty sure he does have like a bad knee or leg or something. So you could like not run the entire thing and make the challenge run a bit more like classic Pathologic. And I feel like that would make sense. Like you could get really immersed into Artemy's character like that. Like he's like injured from the war or something. Or what you could do is like go full doctor role and be like, do no harm, do only moral options. Whenever you see anybody who needs any kind of medicine, give it to them, even if it's like a schmouter or panacea just to a random person on the street. Or like only do the moral things. And I feel like it's pretty immoral to take anybody's organs in this game because they can't consent to that. So no organ harvesting might be something you could do. Or maybe another thing you could do is limiting your inventory space. Because there's no way anybody in real life would be able to carry all of this stuff on them, even if they were sewing pockets onto their clothes, like Artemis is probably doing. Yeah, those are a few things I could came up with. Have you played The Void by Ice Pick Lodge? Sorry, no, I haven't. Is there some insanely hard challenge run for Pathologic 2 you keep in mind might be possible, but you just don't feel ready to attempt it? No, I think I started out with the hardest thing I could do, which was max difficulty. What I could do that's harder, that might be harder than that, is combining max difficulty with permanent infection. And did my game just crash? Didn't save, and I got the tragedian. Oh, okay, it's just a cutscene. I need to read the question again. Insanely hard challenge run. Yeah, I think what I could do if I wanted to torture myself is max difficulty permanent infection. But there has been something I've had a challenge run I've been wanting to test out that has just been like an idea of my mind in my mind for a while. Like, I don't even know if it would be possible. I've just been thinking about this for a few months now. But I want to try beating the game without ever eating any food. And you might be thinking, what do you mean? That's literally impossible. There's no way you could possibly do that. But I think it might be possible. Also in the background, if you notice that my health is not going down, that's because I fucked with the settings to make it so that I don't lose as much health damage and I heal more health damage so that I could record this video. And like, sure, you could do the challenge like that, but that's basically cheating. But anyway, back to the thing. I think you could actually do it, like beat the game, no eating food and no messing with the difficulty settings. Because if I can figure out how fast your health ticks down from starvation, I might be able to stock up enough tinctures and not tinctures, bandages and tourniquets to battle the health I'd be losing. And even if I buy out all the shops, I could start farming the guy who trades bottles for bandages or Goose. I love Goose hunting. He drops healing items. And there's even a specific tincture that you can make that will... Let me save the game. There's a specific tincture you can make that'll decrease your hunger. And I haven't tested that at all. I've just been thinking about that a lot because I'd really want to try that. Like, if anything, that's probably going to be my next challenge run. I don't know if it'd be hard, though. What is your age, your life goals / expectations, and do you only play on a console / only have access to a console? I am 18 years old. I'm very curious to know if any of you thought I was older or younger. You only play on console / have access to a console? Yeah, I do only have access to a console and only play on console. I do edit my videos on a laptop, but it wouldn't be able to run Pathologic, let alone run and record it. And yeah, I only do have an Xbox One. Like, Xbox One is like old now. Like, I want to upgrade and I would have if I could have. Like, yeah, I'm basically stuck with the Xbox One for now. Well, I guess I'll go back to that life goals thing. I got my first job a while ago, specifically because I wanted to, specifically for my videos, like I want to be able to upgrade my stuff. And so I guess like eventually I'd like to be able to purchase all the things to make my videos better. Hi Andy, first of all I wanted to thank you for your content. I've been a big fan of the Pathologic series for years now, but coming from Ukraine, it's been difficult for me to interact with the game in Russia since the war started. So your content provides the comfort of familiarity, but in a slightly different way. Well, I'd like to thank you for watching my videos, first of all, and it's interesting. I've never thought that my videos could provide anybody with a sort of comfort. So, that's cool. Also, Ukraine. I have a fan from Ukraine. I don't know. That just kind of dawned on me. Anyway, your questions. Will you ever make Pathologic 1 videos? In a way, I even prefer Classic HD to Pathologic 2, so I'd love to see your take on it. Eventually in the future, yeah, I do want to play Pathologic 1. And if I do, I would probably do like an actual Let's Play of it and post it to the main channel. So yeah, someday in the future, but don't expect anything anytime soon. Do you slash will you ever stream any games in the future? I can imagine you're a little too familiar with Pathologic 2 to make it challenging for a stream, really, but I might be still fun to play something else. Yeah, in the future, I definitely will be streaming a lot. If once I can get all of the stuff, like I've tested out streaming before, it didn't really work out well for me. But once I can get the stuff, I would definitely stream, and I would definitely stream a lot more non-pathologic than actual pathologic. Just because I play a lot of other games more than I play just straight up pathologic. In fact, I take like month-long breaks in between pathologic because like sometimes making a video will take that long, and I don't know, I don't need to play pathologic if I'm not really recording anything sometimes. But if I were streaming, I would definitely stream my challenge runs and stuff. So yeah, that's another thing I want to do in the future someday. Who's your favorite among the Bound and any of the healers, and why? I'm particularly fond of the Stamatin twins myself. I wish we could learn more about them. But who do you try to check up on as much as possible when the plague comes knocking on their doors? Well, I wish you a great time, and that was all from my side. See you in the next video. Thank you for watching, and thank you for your comment. Let me answer your question now. Who's your favorite among the Bound? I kind of mentioned this before, but I will say why now. I listed Taya at the top, and then Grief and Lara. I have always loved Taya since the moment I met her, because the first time you ever meet her, Artemis is like treating her as like this little girl who needs to be saved, and then the moment you speak to her, she refuses to leave the termitary without the kin, and she says that line about like how you can't just cut off a finger off a hand. And I don't know, that just always stuck with me. And like for like the youngest character in this game, she has like such a deep and like interesting understanding of the world, which I've just always really enjoyed. And also, she is just super fucking cute. She's so adorable, and I love her. So I've had a chance to go back to the termitary and speak with Taya again. And I was like painting her out to be like this child who has such a deep understanding of the world. But yeah, I read through that conversation again, and she really just comes off more as a stubborn kid who doesn't really want to leave the familiarity of the termitary with a random stranger who's claiming to come save her. So yeah, disregard that bit about me thinking she's a super deep character when in actuality she is just a child who's being stubborn. But I still love her for that, and my feelings have not changed on her. I love Taya so much. If you hate Taya, we can throw hands. And also the reasonings for Grease. Grease? Oh no, that's not his name. Oh no, what's his name? Grief, that's his name. Oh my god, I blanked on his name. The reasonings why I like Grief and Lara so much was just because like of the familiarity they provided with Pathologic 2, like them actually being your friends. I've always liked that. And like it always did genuinely felt like they were my friends. And so I guess I've always cared about them a little bit more than just anybody else in town. I've got three. What are your thoughts on Anna Angel? Who's your favorite? I'm going the wrong direction. What are your thoughts on Anna Angel? Who's your favorite between Daniel, Artemy, and Clara? Who's your favorite among the side cast? Could be a member of the Bound or someone more obscure like Veronica. My favorite between Danielle, Artemy, and Clara is definitely Artemy. Cause I've always just felt closer to Artemy, cause like he is my healer. Like I started Pathologic as Artemy, not even knowing that those other two were an option. Like I don't know. I've always just preferred Artemy. And like I've never played the any Bachelor route or Clara route, or Changeling route. So I don't really have like familiarity with them. Like I've playthroughs and people talk about them, but that's like completely different compared to like actually playing through them and living through their experiences. And I just haven't done that with them. So I feel that I've never really been able to connect with them as much as I have with Artemy. Your favorite among the side cast? I'm assuming, yeah, you said member of the Bound and stuff. So yeah, Taya. I love Taya. She's the best. And my thoughts on Anna Angel. My thoughts on Anna Angel. Yeah, sorry, I don't know about that. I don't really hold any strong opinions toward her, positive or negative. She just kind of fades into the background for me. I guess I've always thought that. Okay, here's my thoughts on Anna Angel. I don't understand why she's in the game. I don't understand what she provides to the story at all. Like every character, they have a purpose, they have connections to everything. But in Pathologic 2, which is how I know most about her, she's friends with Peter, which is her basically her one connection to anybody else. And then she just does like questionable things throughout the rest of the game. And then you learn that she used to like kidnap children and stuff. I don't know, like I just never really seen the point in her character, which is I guess why she's always just faded into the background for me. I'm sure someone could like explain the intricacies of Anna Angel, and there's probably even a video about that somewhere, which would be like telling me completely off for saying that she's boring and she fades off into the background and there is a point to her. Do you have any other games you're fond of, like Pathologic 2? No. Other games I'm fond of, like Pathologic 2, definitely not. Like, there's no other game that has a hold on me like Pathologic 2 does. I don't know what they put in this game, but it's like crack and I can't get away from it. Like, I've never done this for any other game. Like, I've never gotten this much into a game before where I've invested so many hours in it. Except for like multiplayer games, but this is like a story-based game that's very different from like a multiplayer game that's like endless content and things you can do. Any other games you'd recommend? Well, I've said before, I've never played anything like Pathologic, so I can't recommend anything like that. I don't know. Recommend, like, I'd need to know more about what you would like as a person. But one game that's always stuck with me, I've only ever played it once, is Soma. I don't want to say much about it because I don't know how to talk about it without spoiling anything, but like that was an amazing game. And I feel like there's like a big like conversation you could have around it, like how people talk about Pathologic. And for a silly question, screw Mary infect with sand pest, Artemy, Daniel, and Clara. Sorry to all the Clara fans out there, but I would have to infect her with sand pest. Um, Definitely screw Daniel. I wouldn't want to marry him. I don't think he's relationship material. uh I feel like he would result in like a toxic, very toxic relationship. I don't think I'd be able to live with him. Definitely marry Artemy. That's not just like my last option, so I'm marrying him. I fucking love Artemy. I would be an honor to marry him. Well, where are you from? How do you know about the pathologic universe? I live in Chicago, Illinois. I've lived here my whole life. And once again, I found out about Pathologic from Game Pass forever ago. You know, Pathologic isn't on Game Pass anymore. So, like, there was a time where it was removed and I didn't play it for a while, and then I like bought it because I couldn't get enough of it. What are your favorite slash least favorite redesigns of characters from Pathologic 2? I feel like for the most part, most of the characters look pretty similar. I don't think I have a favorite redesign, but I do have a few least favorite. Anna Angel definitely got the downgrade. When I first ever saw how Anna Angel looked in Classic, I didn't realize that was her. Cause I could never imagine Beanbag Anna Angel in this cool ass outfit that she wears. So yeah, definitely Anna Angel was a downgrade, but maybe there's like lore reasons and story reasons for why she dresses the way she does now that I'm just not understanding. And another downgrade is Oyen. He's pretty similar, but I really love Oyen specifically because of his mask. I think his mask is super cool. And when I saw his classic pathologic mask, I thought that one was way cooler because his classic mask looks way more like he's half human, half bull, like a minotaur or something. And his mask in Pathologic 2 is very realistic. It's made out of metal and stuff. I definitely prefer his classic mask. What got you through Pathologic 2, and if you died a lot on your first playthrough, how did you power past it? This is the last question, by the way. Yeah, I don't remember much about my first few playthroughs. That was like 3 years ago. But once again, I do remember that it stressed me out so badly that I couldn't play it. Like, I really did need, like, mental health breaks to, like, prepare for this game in order to play it again. Because it was so stressful to me at the time, and I play it so casually now. Like, this is crazy to me how, like, this game could have ever had me in a state like that. Yeah, I don't know how I ever got through that. Like the worst time of my life, playing Path Logic for the first time. Yeah, so that was the last question. Thank you everybody who left a comment. I hope you enjoyed this video and hearing a bit more personal Andy. Thank you everybody for everything, the subs, watching everything, leaving the comments, and I'll see you in my next few videos. Goodbye.